All right, it's 5:30. We'll call this meeting to order. Thank you all for being here tonight. Our crowds keep getting bigger. That's a good thing. It's good to see everybody's faces. We are missing Marty tonight, but Brian should be here shortly. One of the things we thought would be a good idea to do, we need to, before or at the start of every meeting, is to read our vision and mission statement, not only to let our public know what those things are, remind them, but also to remind our board sort of what we're about and what, when we make decisions about things, it should line up with these two things. So the DDA's vision is Jasper will be a city known for its historic heritage, the vital heart of a vibrant community, the treasured, breathtaking beauty of the foothills, and proud to be known as the first mountain city. DDA's mission is the Downtown Development Authority will foster and encourage cooperative public-private efforts to design spaces and landscapes where people can appreciate the jewels of shared historic heritage in order to sustain, grow, develop, and enhance economic prosperity and community well-being. Just keep that in mind tonight, guys, as we go about our business. Pam, in Marty's absence, would you verify we have a quorum present, please?
Do you have a quorum present?
Having a quorum present, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. Jack, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Okay. And please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next item is to adopt our agenda. A couple of modifications that we need to address before we approve it. First and foremost, this is my oversight, and thank you to Kim for bringing this up. We still have an item under old business that has not been resolved, so we propose to add item number 2 under old business, downtown lighting. That was carried over from the last meeting. That's oversight on my part. I apologize. And we've had a late ask to add executive session at the end of the meeting to discuss a personnel issue. So with that, we would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with those modifications.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Thank you. That passes anonymously. We have our agenda in place. Same, we have minutes in front of you from our last meeting, the July meeting. It's kind of hard to believe it's July's meeting already. And we need a motion to adopt our minutes.
Make a motion to adopt the minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
The motion and a second to adopt the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And thank you for that. All right, on to old business. Item number 1 is our 2026 budget. As a reminder, our committees that were developing our budget for economic development was Mr. Lowrie, Dr. Proctor, Mr. Callahan for promotions, Ms. Watkins, Mr. Callahan, Mr. Blandin, design, Mr. Rittenberry, Ms. Watkins, Mr. Lowrie, and organization, Mr. Dunn, Mr. Lowrie, and Mr. Rittenberry. With that, let's start with Pam, your committee working on events for next year.
Okay. Forgive me because I'm going to have to consult my notes because I can't remember all this stuff. So Vonda, Marty, and myself met about several different events, trying to get an events calendar together. I won't bore you with the details right now, so I'm going to stick to our budget or what we think our ask would need to be. So I did speak with Donnie Craig of Copper Nickel Engraving about different sponsor gifts we can give for bigger sponsors. The start, do you want me to go into actual numbers?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And by the way, just to verify, or just clarify with everybody, we will not be approving a budget tonight. We will be discussing budget items. Then we'll be compiling those budget items into an actual budget spreadsheet for everyone to review. We also want to partner with the city, get the city's perspective, Brandon, Kim, et cetera. And we expect this to be a back and forth thing before we vote on the budget in our September meeting ahead of our October 2nd presentation to City Council.
Yes, so as long as we
Okay.
vote on it in September.
So this is all for just discussion today. I think Brandon called it a wish list. I don't hate that word, so sorry to interrupt. But
No, you're
yes,
fine.
yeah, numbers are great.
All right. So, in speaking with Mr. Craig, the cheapest, I don't know, the least expensive things that we could do would be $35 for each sponsored gift, and that would go on up from there. So it would start like wood plaques, maybe glass plaques, and maybe white granite plaques or other things. In the hopes that we would get bigger sponsors, I told him that maybe we would need a dozen per year for that. If we went to the least expensive option, that would be $420, depending on what you get, but it could go on up from there. He did say that they would be willing to do an in-kind sponsorship as well and split the cost with us, depending on what we would get. So that's the first ask. So that could be $420, or half of that, $210 plus.
You're proposing 12 sponsorship levels?
In the
12 sponsors?
in the hopes that we would get bigger sponsors for these other events, which leads into my next
Okay.
ask in just a second.
Who's doing that in kind?
That would be copper nickel
Oh, okay.
engraving, with Donnie Craig. I spoke with him.
Awesome.
Let's see. The next ask I have, who I actually have here, Mr. David Yates. He is a local event planner. I did have one meeting with him. Depending on his duties for different events, let's just say an average of $1,200 per event would be his fee. It could be less, it could be more, depending on what he would do. In my ask, or our ask, we did, let's say we wanted to throw 10 events that would need a planner in the year. And that would be $12,000. It just depends on, our event calendar. And some of the smaller events we can just handle. It wouldn't necessarily need an event planner. And I'm not saying even 10 events would need an event planner. But as an ask, I thought shoot for the stars. Why not? And if you guys have additional questions for him, I'll call him up after I'm done with all this part. If y'all don't mind. Sure. Just to get a sense of what he does. Let's see. Other events that do not necessarily make money. So what I mean by that is, as part of joining the DDA, I wanted most, if not all, of our events to be self-sustaining. That is, make a profit, hopefully, or at least break even. So, things that wouldn't make money, though, would be like, let's say if we had live music on the alley on Stegall. So, as part of our proposal, Marty had the idea of maybe 5 spring, 5 in the fall when it's not too hot in the summer in that alley. Music acts can go anywhere from $150 to $300 per act. I wouldn't want to spend more than $300. But that would be a max of $3,000 where we wouldn't necessarily have vendor fees and, obviously not ticket sales or anything. That would just be an outright cost for us.
And we funded one of those this year
For Bragg.
for Brad.
And it went very well. I think there were people all in the alley, like very good attendance, supported the local businesses. Us as a business, we're very happy with it.
Okay.
Just saying. Let's see, next. I just put money on hand needed for stuff for events in advance. So, as an example, when I say we, our business, which is the brewery in town, and Sharp Top,
So
Distillery, thank you, did a chili cook-off in 2023. And I have, the itemized list of what we spent and what we made. For that event, actually, we lost $461. However, when I went through it, especially, we would have to get porta potties because the new bathrooms are right across the street from where we held at that time. We got t-shirts, which we wouldn't make this time. So if we hadn't have got those incidentals, we actually would have made almost $1,500 from that event.
Good.
But there wasn't a cost. So we had to pay out, what is this? $6,600 just of our own money before we make any of that money back.
Right.
So that $5,000 would just be to have.
Seed money.
Yes.
And that we would actually get a full return plus possibly more.
Yes, hopefully a lot more.
Okay.
With that, so my total ask with all of this, minus that money on hand, because that doesn't really count to me, would be $15,500. If we did have the money this year, I would like to be able to, and obviously it's not just my decision, hire David or Mr. Yates for possibly a Halloween event where because the streets will already be closed or trick or treat. Or I thought Marty had a genius idea of a soup bean festival. Since we are Appalachian folk, I think that would be a great yearly festival that's inexpensive for people to make. And just like, the chili cook-off that we had, it's very similar. And as you see that I said earlier, it could be a money maker for us. So unless you have questions for me or Vonda, since Marty isn't here, I'd like to introduce you guys to David Yates, who is that event planner that I said, so he can kind of tell you guys what he does.
Hello, so my name is David. I own a company called Expedition Events. I live here in Pickens. We're coming up on our 3rd year. So we've been here since we moved in Halloween of 22. And I've been doing events for about 10 years. And I mostly focus on large outdoor events. I do a lot of off-road vehicle type things. In fact, this weekend for Jeep Fest, we're doing an event called Jeep Camp. We're providing camping for people coming to Jeep Fest. We're also having a big party on site on the Saturday of the event. My goal since we moved here was to get very involved. I'd like to provide as much value for the local community of Pickens County, all the surrounding areas. I've done a lot of events. I've really good sponsorship. Part of what I do is sponsorship stuff. So I have probably 5 or 6 of different events I'm working with all over the country that reach out, and not everyone's good at reaching out sponsors. I'm not afraid to do that. That's what I do. So I reach out. We get sponsors from all over the country of all different sizes. We're also doing in the next 90 days, we're bringing 4 new events to Pickens. We're doing the Jeep Camp. We're doing 3 fall festivals that are basically, it's a concert series that we're doing right there at Northern Farm with Karen. So we're doing a lot of new stuff in the community, and I'm trying to bring as many people, use as many people in the community to do everything that we can do. And I think there's a lot of potential here. I think we're going in the right direction. And there's, especially with Main Street being how it is, being able to shut it down is, a great thing for the city, because there's a lot of potential. Like you mentioned, the Halloween thing. I think that's something that'd be really cool to have, like a big, like you see on movies and TV, just like big party, downtown. It's already shut down for, like she said, for trick or treating. But yeah, I'm passionate about, making these events very, very accessible and bigger. And I have lots of ideas.
So was that part of Downtown Live too? Was that?
Possibly. It's just, I think it would be great to have a planner, like not on staff, but, someone that we hire that actually knows how to, I'm not an event planner. I think we do the best that we can with our knowledge, but having someone who actually knows more about sponsorships, getting better sponsorships, has contacts to reach out to that maybe we don't have would be a great asset.
Okay. How'd you do it? Yeah. Got a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Who are some of your heavy hitter sponsors, and what is your relationship?
So, a lot of them are based in the automotive world right now. Of my like big national sponsors, just because that's the world I come from. But for instance, for our Fall Flannel Festival, we're meeting with Coke. We had, so we can get I have the ability to get the access to anyone we need to get access to. I've got a lot of different connections in different areas that are outside of the automotive world. I have a bunch of weird different experience, just things I've done over the years. But honestly, the big thing I would really like to do is get as many local adjacent sponsors, because I think that's important. Because I know a lot of these companies, maybe not some smaller companies, but some of these other ones will have, they've got the budgets for this. It's just a lot of people, you got to get the ask, and that's something I'm not afraid to do, is ask. They have, I found they have budgets for this stuff. You just got to ask. Okay.
So your 4 new events, are all of those Northern Roots Farms based? 'Cause I've
So-
seen a lot of theirs.
Yeah, so the ones we're doing, me and Karen are working together on, those are all out of the farm. So we've got the Cheap Camp coming up, and then we're doing 3 fall concert series. So I also have, a lot of experience getting bands, and, I've done that for years. And the good thing is, like you said, the budget for bands, you can, there's a million people you can get for $150.
So are all of these new events that you're doing, are they all at Northern Roots Farms?
All those 4.
Okay, and so those were the events that you're speaking of that's happening in Pecos, correct?
Correct, yes.
Just those ones. Okay.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm a kind of. Oh.
Didn't you do something in Talking Rock recently?
I did.
Okay.
Me and Jeannie worked together on the Bronco Stampede.
Yeah.
And I was a vendor there at last year, and this year I did help them out. I worked the event. We grew that event pretty big. I don't want to take full credit because they did a lot of work as well.
He was crucial though to our success this year. It wouldn't have gone off as smoothly as it did without David's support. So appreciate that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I really want to do. I want to help do those kind of events that really promote the community. And that event went really well this year, and we're really excited for next year. I think it'll be even bigger and better, and I think it'd be great. As a technically second year event, there was 4 times the amount of people that came into Talking Rock the year before. So that's great. So you're proud.
So have you done any events that were specifically tied to municipal or county governments?
So no, I haven't. I've done almost exclusively my own events. So the benefit to that is I've been spending my money. So I know how to spend as little as possible, but still have a excellent product because I'm spending my own money all the time to make sure that and we're doing the right things budget-wise because it's my money. And I treat, I have done events for other people, and I treat their budgets the same way as I would treat mine, because that's how I'm used to working on a shoestring budget.
So without stealing any thunder, we've just gone through a transformational strategy, strategic planning process. And as we move forward, this is for the benefit of the audience as well as the public, but there will part of that process will include a funding strategy for the fundraising. So I just want to make sure that when we hear we're spending these dollars and we may lose money or this or that, but there will be a strategy developed that makes this a win for everybody.
Everyone. So
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Did you do the last event that they had at the yacht rock? Were you
I was-
part of that?
I wasn't a part of it. That's her event. They got the other one coming up in the fall. She bounced some ideas off of me, but I wasn't directly involved with that event.
That's
Anything else for David?
I don't think I have a question, just a statement, if I can quick sit down. Unless anybody else has a question.
No, thank you, David.
Again, I'm never quite sure how to say these things. Y'all's decision, not mine. But from a staff standpoint, and some things that Parrish and Pam and I talked to Ebony about when she was here last week, not to get ahead of what I'll be saying later about that, but I should have rehearsed this better. I've been pushing David to Pam, Parrish, Kim. I like David. I know David. I met him through the Growing Professional, the Thickness County League Chamber. I've seen a lot of ribbon cuttings. I'm familiar with him. And at the risk of this sounding, as Brian says, plain spoke is understood, this is probably not going to sound great, but y'all know I don't really trust people. I'm very skeptical. I trust David. I wouldn't mind working with David. I'm already, not in a bad way, getting a little bit bogged down with the workload, a little tight, a little bit, not bad, we're not bad yet. But for the next 1 to 2 years, to have someone like David, which is way cheaper than having another staff person, which we know we're not going to get for like a decade, best case scenario or something, I would love to have David. For what that counts for matters. If we don't, I'm not going to be offended. I know David well enough to know I don't think he's going to be very offended. But when Pam said she'd already set up a meeting with him, I was pretty happy about that. And I've seen how dedicated he is to his work. I've seen how he interacts with people. And so I just think that it's a good idea for what that matters. And we hire him once. If you suck, yeah, you're gone. Yeah. And also the cost that Pam told me was way better than I expected. So from a budget standpoint, I'm not super concerned either, if that helps at all. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Good. Anything else from you?
That
Any
was
questions for Pam? Rhonda? Who has the downtown live for next year? Because that's not included as these numbers, correct?
no. I mean, you all have it. Well, we have what it cost this year, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
That was part of my thing though, like when I said, like most, if not all events should be self-sustaining.
Yeah.
And I think not to push David any more than he already has been, but with someone like that who knows, how to, fix our sponsorship structure where it makes sense, to reach out to more sponsors. I think it's all very doable with someone with more expertise and time. Quite frankly, none of us are paid to reach out to all these people and do all this other stuff that could make these events better, bigger, more a moneymaker.
Got it.
And yeah, with I just saw a stupid. Oh yes, well that's about to redo all of our paperwork. Literally, we're about to redo the website, redo all the sponsorship package, redo the vendor application.
Good timing.
Yeah, it would be great. And so I have the number. So this is if we include that history event, which is why I wanted David in the first place for next year that we need to have. So this is including, I think, the 5 downtown lives instead of 4. If we were to go to that, I have no opinion one way or the other on that, to be frank with you. That was just me being crazy. Yeah. If we wanted like 5 downtown lives plus the history event that we need to have, you're looking at, I think, max $71,000. So add that to your $91,000 just for events. Is your wish list ask, which is Brendan said to ask for the max. It'll probably get cut down, maybe not, we'll see, we don't know. But that I think would be a roundabout total for events in total. So, large event and small.
So, wait, 71 includes the 15?
So yeah, I'm
Or
including,
additional
so 71 plus 15 plus 5 is 91. So we'd be looking at a 91 total instead of 71 total with the numbers Kansas
Okay.
gave us.
So I'm glad you mentioned Brandon, our city manager. Just to play off what you said about back and forth on the budget. The way this typically will work in any department, whether it be the DDA or the fire department, you'll come forth with wish list and then the city will make decisions about what the city manager recommends. And this is a little bit of a unique situation because we have there's two organizations that are represented here. One is the DDA and one is the Main Street. And right now those organizations are tied together, and they always will be, but how we navigate the next steps in that budgeting process for things like this, and also whether there would be any kind of need or desire to possibly, no offense, consider other people like could do the same thing, and that's just that's the stick in the mud, Sally Proctor. Just kind of throwing out there for.
No, I never mind anything like that. Also, I think it's a good point that you made with you, is that this ask, well, I think because it sounds large, and this is the first year that we're asking for a real budget because we need it, is that we are asking for both organizations. So we're asking for DDA, we're asking for Main Street, and just happen to be the same people asking for both, which I think makes it a little more easy to digest than just saying one person's asking for this. Two sets of teams are asking for this money. It just happens to be the same team that closes out one meeting and starts another one.
So that's a great point, an exciting point, quite honestly, is the fact that we're actually going through a formal budgeting process. We kind of separated that to a certain degree last year, but this year, again, for the benefit of the public, the DDA is having meetings with our city staff just like any other department would. And so it's a great step forward, really is.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so that's the event side of things, yes?
Great.
Okay, very good, thank you. Brian, do you want to talk about downtown beautification?
Sure.
And Josh is here.
And Josh is here, which is awesome. And all this kind of goes under a little bit later too, but let's see.
Pastry.
Let me hear these.
Oh.
Passes it.
Yeah. Can I keep one?
Yeah.
I'm not here.
So I'm just gonna take one of these and pass one around. This is on landscaping.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the dice open Kindle back.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yep, fancy.
Yeah. Then, yes, sir.
That's not great.
That.
Yeah.
Great sauce.
Is that?
So we talked a lot earlier this year about the landscaping and some of the options that we had for landscaping. You can find this Main Street. What we ultimately decided on was a $7,800 contract with Hemlocks. And so the first sheet I handed out was the landscaping maintenance proposal. And I kind of did this, I discussed it with Jason and Hemlocks, but I also did some research about inflation and the cost of plants and maintenance and things like that. And so basically, all the conversations that I had with people, and mainly with Jason, since he did it this year, was for budgetary reasons, ask for a 15% increase. That would cover inflation, cost of plants are going up. I mean, and his labor is up and insurance rates are up, and we all know that. So 15% would be safe. So that would actually bring it up for 2026 to $8,970. And he said, and this is again with several different people that do landscaping, that based on that $7,800 number and with 15% budget ask, the actual could really come closer to like 10 to 12%. Actual numbers, because again, flowers are up, labor's up, whatever.
So you're saying that's a potential worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario, 15%. Yeah. Now, I intentionally did not put Hemlocks on this proposal. I kept it generic because we also had discussed about maybe putting it out for bid, which Jason does a great job, outside of like pulling some weeds and stuff, which, whatever. But I think we could maybe get more for our money if we put it out to bid. I don't know what the process is for that. But I know it's an option. So we've just thrown it out there.
Are there other companies in the community that do what they do?
There are some other companies. I don't know that they are as large as Hemlocks, but there are other companies in the community that we can reach out to. If not, then Jason does a good job. He knows what he's talking about. But the other sheet of paper that I handed out was a hanging basket proposal, and this is what Parrish sent to you by text to the thread so everybody can see it.
That was just a picture of
It was just a photo
one in Gainesville.
in Gainesville. And
They have them all over the place.
they have them all over the place.
Square. All the way, all side streets, yeah.
And so basically what I did was I priced them through Kinsman Wholesale, which is a company that does landscape supplies, baskets. You can really spend a lot of money depending on how ornate you want to get. And there is a basket that actually has holes around the outside of the basket for plants to be planted sideways so that they drape and swag more. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but can be very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I put an option B together. Now, this does not include replacing the boxes with trees or shrubs. And I know that we have access to trees. We still have access to the tree farm. I think it was a fun time.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That was the deal.
Well, so there may be.
That was the one species that should take us back.
Okay.
But I don't think that's.
I don't think there's much hair.
No.
Well, so the boxes can be utilized to put trees and shrubs back in. But the whole premise behind the hanging baskets is getting the flowers up at eye level or higher so that when people visit our downtown, they, because when we are busy, which is more and more, and I love that as a business owner, but you can't really see the flower boxes. They're hard to water. They are hard to really just maintain because people walk through them. There's no type of guard. And from a safety standpoint, it would be really better if all those boxes had the grates back on them. If we still have the grates, I'm sure they are. But the grates would be better from a safety perspective. But this would be basically a one-time purchase. So basically the total initial investment would be $17,000.
So that, which breaks down
Well, so that breaks,
11,000.
there's 33 light poles. So the hardware, the hangers would be $46 each. So that's $1,518. There's an Imperial 18-inch hanging basket because my thoughts were 18 to 24 inches max. And I discussed this with Jason as well. And he said, they make a 30-inch basket and they are beautiful to look at, but they are also very heavy when they are planted. And you have to really have something substantial to hold, mount it to. But since these would be mounted to all the lamp posts, and this is again just an option to throw out there because what I put on here was a double bracket. They actually make a single. In the city of Dalton, they actually do not use brackets at all. They literally hang a hanging basket on the bottom part of the flag hanger. And it's steel, so it will support the weight, and it's just a single hanging basket. So there's a lot of options here, but I did the double hangers. The baskets would be a one-time purchase of $4,486 because with 33 lampposts, we would need. But again, they're still baskets, so they're not like going to Home Depot where you're going to throw the little wire basket away at the end of the grow season. You know, the soil would be taken out. And basically, the seasonal planting would be about $25, so that would be $1,650 per grow season, so twice a year, so $3,300 basically. So my thoughts on this.
So this line item where it says seasonal planting and annual planting, are two separate things?
It's the same.
It's the same.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can scratch that annual planting off because
It's just the
it's the same.
3,300 basically.
It's just 3,300. Yeah. So you can deduct that 17. I didn't realize that, but yeah. So $3,300 per cycle. Well, for the year. So $1,650 to plant those. Now that does not include the Stegall planters or the boxes in front of the courthouse. They explicitly for the lampposts. But that would bring it up. The last line item on this is a watering trailer, because there at one time, I guess, was some irrigation to those planter boxes that never really worked like they were intended. I think some of them were actually, the piping was like pulled out or something. So I did call a company in Basso, Florida, and my people was coming out. I hope I said that right, but anyways, I checked on the price for a 550-gallon baffled water tank with an engine and a 25-foot hose. Now, again, this is just something to kind of go by to get an idea with, because Dalton, which is the second photo that I text you behind Parrish's, they basically have a dedicated truck that they just set a water tank in with a pump. And so every day, and per Jason's recommendations, at minimum every other day, they, especially in the hotter part of the summer, one of the public works guys would fill the water tank up, drive it downtown first thing in the morning, or even late evening, whatever, and water all of the hanging baskets. It's got a 25-foot hose. You pull up, you water it, you move on to the next one. But the cost on that trailer with freight and everything as of today was $11,042.
So that's where you get the 17.
That's,
It's actually going to be 14.
yeah, so it would add, So it would add to the $17,000 by that $11,000. That's the initial investment. But I didn't add it to that list because that one could really kind of go the way. We could do the tank, whatever. Reality is you could almost do a backpack. And the price on the tanks and the watering things, those things vary. There's actually a version that would hook to the back of a mule or a cater that's like less than $1,000. You know, so there's options as far as that to make that work. We just have to kind of go on it. So,
Josh, I assume we don't have anything like that.
The only thing we have maybe is 25-gallon tank. We don't have any funding any size.
So you would need, so it's 550 is what would be needed to do the watering.
well, my thoughts were basically a gallon per basket. Because the general rule of thumb is when you're watering your plants, you want to water them so that the plant thinks that it's running at least an inch on it. So, you know, if you stand there and you water each basket with a gallon of water, and I discussed it in depth with Jason, and he's like, man, if you watered them a gallon a day, or at least every other day, he's like, these things would explode, and they would be beautiful. And, you've got lots of color, lots of things that hang down. It brings your eye level up to where you're looking across the city instead of looking down at where it makes sure you're walking. You're seeing the beauty of the city. So there's a lot of advantages too. So that was that one.
John. So you said right now what we have with Woodman, you only do the 25-gallon tank down there? Okay.
The only ones we have that's got a contact.
Oh, God. Do you have any input, staff-wise, backpack, something that hooks to the back of the side-by-side, a truck? Do you have the staff for it? Do you have any negative, positive thoughts of putting the brakes back on? Any of that?
The only thing I would be concerned about is the hanging basket itself. Because I was 10 to 12, 13 years old. I want to jump up and see if I can touch it. So I would suggest trying to go higher. I don't know. Maybe at an 8 foot minimum, 8.5. I don't know. But I know what I would try to do. Another kid might try to do the same thing.
I need this.
But yeah, that's the premise, is getting them up higher.
Yeah.
And they're steel hangers, so they literally bolt around the pole. And, you know, if you look at the lamp post, the posts are wider at the bottom, so it's not gonna slide. Once it's bolted in place, it's not gonna slide down. So, yeah, but like with this price on this, this machine, or this tank, this setup, it's a trailer, it's got a baffle, so there's a safety aspect of it too. You know, when they're pulling it through town, they don't have to worry about the motor shifting. But that's the way it's designed, and then it's got a 25-foot hose that can have a garden one added to it. So standing there to spray up into a basket, it's not going to be a problem. You just add them on to the hose.
And also, you may have to touch Georgia Power.
It's got a Honda engine on it.
No, Georgia Power to hang it on. That's their pole.
Oh, well, see, that's the other aspect is, and I didn't put that in here, but is since the city made a contract with Georgia Power, I don't think they would have a problem with it, but I don't know the answer to that. And I'm not really quite sure who did even ask about that.
So we're somewhere between,
Sorry.
status quo at a cost of roughly $9,000, probably less, or we go this route.
Or if we go this route. The thing about the hanging baskets is, I mean, we're not going to be able to, I didn't actually run the numbers with crepe myrtles, because there's some cost built into that Hemlocks that it covers the maintaining the crepe myrtles twice a year. Yeah. So roughly, I want to say it was $3,000. I don't have it in front of me, but I think that's right. I'm thinking it was around $3,000. But you know, you've got flower expense. That was the majority of the expense in that, where we're looking at $3,300 for flowers from now on. And that's that.
So $6,000 savings a year. 5,000.
5,000 to 6,000 a year at some point. So the longer we use the baskets, the more we actually save on beautifying the downtown area.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be a one-time upfront cost that's big, but then we end up saving a lot of money over the next, we'll have decade or like the next year. Like, yeah, it's an upfront cost, but it cuts down on our like consistent payments we're having to make. So we save money in the long run, but it's a big number upfront. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brian, will these be black?
I did the black ones. That's what I kind of looked at and priced, was the black ones, because the lampposts were black.
Black would make me super happy if they matched the light.
Yeah. And that, you know, like I said, they're permanent, so I mean they're steel. So basically the expense is the cocoa liner that goes in it every year and refreshing out some soil and and the flowers. And that becomes the expense each year, rather than having to see what's going to be drought tolerant. That's the other thing. It's easier to find things that creep and grow down than it is to find things that grow up that are drought tolerant,
Okay.
because they're hanging.
Well, one other thing you comment on that is it's not on top of the ground, so it's not giving all excess heat up in the air.
Yeah, it's up in the air. It's not as
It's not going to be getting, yeah, it's not going to be.
It's not getting the fumes and, you know, all the heat for the sidewalks. So there's a lot of advantages too, looking into this aspect.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Any other questions for Brian? Okay, if not, we'll move on. Jack, lighting. This is not this part of the lighting. This is just the budget part of it.
Okay, so I called Thursday or Friday of last week and tried to get him with Lowrie Fullwood and Universal Concept. Lowrie got in there and talked to one of their helpers, and she assured me that she would get back with me Friday or no later than today in that our response. But we threw around I looked at some numbers over the past years that we've done, and I'm thinking 2,500, something like that. I don't think that all the lights are going to have to be replaced. There's sensors on some of them. There's time machines on some of them. And Josh, you tell me whatever you think. We don't know where we're at.
Correct.
Did we ever get an electrician to actually look at it?
Yeah, we found places where they're on timers at the back of the buildings, but we haven't been able to get up on top and.
I got you. Okay. So, and of course, she said, what she found out what she needs to do, she'll go over and stay on top of it. So, again, I just, right now, to redo the whole thing, I don't have a figure, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think there's some minor details that occurred. I will say this. When we first did this 8 years ago, I think it was, a year and a half after that, and I did not know this until the other day when I was talking to Lowrie, they came back and redid all the wires because in the mountains, there's a lot more wind and with water and everything, so they replaced the wires at that time from a white wire to a green wire, which is more sturdy. So I did not know that until recently, so I just thought I'd point that out. But right now, that's all I have.
So 2,500 estimated.
Estimated, I think so. Normally, and I'll just tell y'all in this process, I go look up and down the street and I'll call Universal Concept and I'll say, well, I've got 3 on my building, I've got 3 on Pam Watkins' building, the rest of them are fine, and I'll go up the street, so, and I'll do an inventory when they come up here, so that helps out quite also.
Okay.
This may not matter. Universal Concepts is at the conference. There are people within Doctor if we want to come to in person next couple of I just
I don't know if anybody knows waters anymore.
Okay, I didn't know. I just they're there.
Do you know who's there?
I don't know no, that's in the morning. I'll find out those people.
Okay, so there's a guy, excuse me, we'll talk after.
Okay, yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Jack. Any other questions for Jack regarding downtown lighting?
Do we know how many are on timers and how many are on photo sales?
There's some of them that I wasn't able to find in time, and that was at, behind your place. I couldn't find that time. But everything else,
There's 3,
one at
2 on our side, and then the bank, that's 3 on our side. And then you got Vero House, and then 6190.
at Short Top Distilleries, there's maybe one.
Well, the reason I ask is because those the photo sales to wear out.
Yeah.
Very easy.
I didn't even know there was some there.
Yeah, mechanical timer is going to be the best.
Yeah.
If we're going to have to spend money on it,
Is that?
a mechanical timer where you can say,
I just keep doing this.
on at a certain time, off at a certain time.
And one thing, Josh, I would point out on that is we need to start locking those. I don't know, somebody, because I've noted that you need to lock those somehow.
As far as I know, they've never been weatherproof. So, anybody can get to them?
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to work on that also.
Weatherproofing and locking the timers.
Yes, so nobody can get to them. That's been fixed.
Okay.
Like you got your daylight sirens, timer, whatever.
Anything else on that item? Good. Thanks, Jack. Ms. Glaze. You want to do the social media website stuff now, or?
Sure. Because this part is kind of part that eludes me, I don't have pricing on that yet, just that we are going to need to find a new different person to help us merge the websites. So the plan is, and social media, the plan is to consolidate. So right now there's a Downtown Live social media, a DDA social media,
and Jasper Downtown social media. The Jasper Downtown is the Main Street social media that we would need to loop Downtown Live and DDA into. There's no reason to have 3 accounts. I cannot run 3 accounts.
Or do we want to pay someone?
Yeah, nor do we want to pay somebody to run the other 2 that I'm not running. So those can all be done under 1 account. So we need to consolidate that. Same kind of concept with the websites, and I've been over this with Kim, and then with the people that have my job in other cities. So the goal of the websites would be to, again, take the Downtown Live website and take the DDA website, get rid of them, create a Main Street website with a link to the DDA and a link to Downtown Live. Then that entire website is linked to the City of Jasper website. So we've got 2 websites and 1 social media account. How we are going to do that, I don't know yet. Working on it. So I don't have a number for that, but that is the plan. If y'all know of anybody, let me know. Because we will need a cost associated with that.
Was the list that we looked at not helpful?
I have not. I've not had a second to finish them. Yeah, that's my bad of doing city stuff and then being a wedding and being gameless late. So, yeah, I don't have a number on that. I do have a number on a couple of things we talked about in our planning meeting from July 30th. And these are all for the year, so for the entire year. And Parrish has seen these, only one of these is going to be different because I talked to Kim after. So, we talked about having a boosting budget for promoting posts. So for 2026, the number I came up with is $1,440 for that. For merchandise seed money, $5,000. Supplies that I need to do my job, $865. Next year, 2 of us, again, me being one of them, Parrish if he wants to, or if he wants to swap out with Pam, however we want to do it. We'll need to go to GDA again, the Georgia Downtown Association Conference that Parrish and I are at this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that we budgeted about $1,400. This could be more depending on where they hold it. Because like right now, he and I can drive there. So we're not staying overnight because it's 40 minutes from my house and however far from his house. But like if it's 3 hours away, there could be some additional cost within there if we have to go and stay. So the number that is going to be different to Parrish is the Certified Downtown Professional degree program through UGA and Georgia Downtown. We had originally discussed half of that coming out of the DDA budget and half of that coming out of the city budget. I was told it will all come out of our budget and none of it will come out of my city budget. So instead of $325 to $750. There's a historical preservation conference that we would like for me to attend next year. Not crucial. We can wait another year. It's $500 total for everything. The one project I have city-wise for next year, or DDA, to do with this downtown, is we've got to, I think, get signage on that public restroom. It comes up so much, too much at Downtown Live, to me, to Josh's staff, to Randy in the distillery. People don't realize that's a bathroom. And we asked Ebony the other day, before I spit out what it was, Parrish said, "What do you think it is?" She does not think it was a bathroom. So, I don't know if it looks too nice to be a bathroom. I don't know what the deal is. People don't get that it's a bathroom. So the type of signage that my preference is, that I was run by Parrish based on the aesthetic of downtown and the intent of what we're going for, would be to have somebody on the side of it kind of whitewash paint a mural kind of sign of public restrooms. Because I think any other sign option we have is tacky, to be quite honest. So I put like $1,000
Was
in
wayfaring signage not part of our meeting last week?
Yes, but it's not it's not in the 2026 budget. It's in the 1 to 3 year plan. It's not in the 1 year plan.
I'm saying that needs to be done like yesterday.
Yeah, that one sign I've already talked to Brandon about, and he would like the idea I have of how wayfinding signage would work for us to wait till 2027, which is fine. But this sign, I told him I'd like now, so I've got $1,000 ask in there for that. We've already talked about events. If we want to do the Derby next year, the DDA is either going to have to maybe fully fund it or try to do an in-kind thing where the city pays half and we pay half, if that's something y'all want to discuss. And then getting this can be done at Walmart, just a tent for us to use at events. We don't have to logo it right now, but we need a DDA tent that we can put up. The city doesn't have one. I asked. Then that's really it for that right now.
What was the savings we talked about if you don't have the social media?
So we won't be using a social media person that is being used this year, which will save us $4,550. We do not find that the DJ at Downtown Live is at all necessary because we have Parrish. And
I'm happy to do it.
With his turtle.
no, he's heard this before.
Don't get me wrong.
He's heard this before. He's not.
the invite. So
He's fake surprised. He's fake being surprised.
that's
You have to get a bigger turtle box.
That will save us.
I'll donate it.
That will save us a little over $1,600. And then, okay, I guess we are going to kind of get into this. I would like, personally, we do have some new businesses that have come into town this year. We've got Publix, Chipotle, Chicken Salad Chick, Chocolate Smoothie, Chick-fil-A. Longhorns, oh, thank you, Jack. Whataburger, yes, is coming. So, the Kid Zone. I think originally I was told that was like a donation or a church was paying for it or something. Well, that's since stopped. We are footing the bill for that, which is outrageous. So my idea is, I'm not trying to like start World War III by saying we get rid of the inflatables, but my idea is this. We get a Kid Zone sponsor again, like whoever was originally paying for it. So like, say, Perfect World, Unicorns and Horses. David is helping us. And David gets Publix to be the Kid Zone sponsor. So Publix is just responsible for paying for the Kid Zone for the Downtown Lives. That is their sponsorship to us. I would like it to go that way, rather than us footing the bill for that. Or then my preference would be that we, and Josh is going to hate this, I'm sorry, that we, in my Carly corner of the Public Works building, store items that we make a one-time purchase for, and we do the Kid Zone without an inflatable. So then we would buy all the things, which would be like an $1,800 cost.
Versus
$1,800 per event, one time $1,800.
versus we're paying now for the kids.
Whatever 1,800 times 4 is.
It's $1,800.
Yeah, we're paying a lot. It's something like that. Like, that's probably a little off. I think that paperwork's in my office. It's on my whiteboard, actually. I didn't bring my whiteboard with me. So we would be saving a lot of, those are our 3 places I found after spending 16 hours, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at the numbers, it is. On the budget solely, that's what I figured out would be our areas we can cut from. So, and then also an idea I have for next year with budgeting is, my idea again is Perfect World, you have unicorns and rainbows, David is helping, and Chick-fil-A is coming. So we maybe get Chick-fil-A to, like how I said, Publix could be Kid Zone sponsor. Maybe Chick-fil-A could be the Command Bus sponsor. Because, and the Command Bus, if you think you all know, but if you don't, is our mobile command center that was purchased for public safety to use in the event of a mass casualty. But Josh and I take care of said bus. Start calling it the Josh and Carly bus. So that bus is taken to all of our events downtown. And my ask as being a city employee, this is probably the only area of this entire budget I'm being a tiny bit maybe selfish, is I'm a city employee with no staff. So Josh's guys are the backbone of these events. They are the ones that are out there with me in the heat, doing more work than I am. So, and then the fire department comes up for all of these events and has to sit for the duration. We have been putting food in the command bus for them to eat because, like, you know, not everybody has the money to go buy the food from the food truck. They're out there for a long time. So we've been, this season, the city paid for it once, I paid for it once, and then I paid for it and we got reimbursed by the DDA once. And then the first month we just didn't have it because I didn't know. So I was thinking we could ask maybe Chick-fil-A to be the command bus sponsor. So like that gets our food taken care of for our staff that's out there running these events for us. Because I would like that, or that can just become a budget item. Because I would like that to be something that's taken care of, because they're out there doing it for us. So that's really the only other thing I
How
have.
much is that called usually?
I mean, I think the first time,
Don't shortcut it.
I spent like $110 last time.
It's not much.
No, it's not big. I would just, they like having it. I think it's good for it to not have to come out of Josh's budget
Yeah.
or anything like that. I don't think that's a bad thing.
That's good for morale.
And yes.
No brainer.
Yeah, so I think that would be something we
I think when you let go down the street and you business way after that, that's what y'all would do.
I think all of that is fine. I just want to find a way to work that in somehow. And I know that Chick-fil-A is really good about that stuff. At least they were like, when I grew up in Dawson, a little bit different on stuff like that for it.
Because they would.
Yeah, they're really usually. So that with them coming, that might be something we could do. Like everybody.
You absolutely got to do that.
That's okay. And okay, that's officially it. But those are the numbers we're cutting: 4,550, 1,600, and then whatever that third number was for the kids zone. If we can try to get a sponsor to cover that, so us.
672, whatever that's like, trying to full of minutes.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Personal.
Super.
Thank you, Curly.
Yeah, I think that's all.
All right, anything else budget related from this board today?
Yeah, I was going to say something on the website and the social media.
Yeah, hit me. I'm mad.
The whole premise behind the website, that you want to optimize it so that it's easy to use, easy to get to, easy to operate. And we want to also make sure that when they go on there, that it's entertaining, because you don't want them to click on there and be like, what's this? Yeah. So I really, really like the idea of combining all of the websites, saying, City of Jasper, link to the DDA, DDA, link to the City of Jasper, but not just DDA, but DDA, Main Street events, etc. And somewhere, it's in an email thread, but I had, I love ChatGPT, but I said, hey, look at this website. Look at Livonia, look at the City of Canton, look at all of these different cities, and tell me what ours is missing. And it basically said, you're missing events, you're missing this, you're missing a calendar of all of the local events. And so the calendar is a big thing, but all of that tied into social media, if we play our cards right, we could probably find a company that's willing to handle all of that. And all we have to do is just feed them the data, the photos, the dates, the details, things like that.
Are we gonna put out bids for a person to do the website and the social media stuff like that?
We absolutely can.
The city?
Yeah,
Go ahead to
we don't have to.
service.
Yeah, we don't have to, but yeah.
I like the bid idea, but I also like if you go to someone's page or you look at, most people that do these things have, examples, things that or if we ask for a reference list from the company, they can give us the websites. We could also just go to Canton and call Belinda and say, hey, who does your website?
I can ask another one.
I'm sure.
So there's a different formal process for bids, a formal process for bids or question owns or whatever. First, checking prices. You can still check prices without to default bids, and that's always a good idea.
Yeah.
And that is to the calendar. I know we talked about this last week. That we need to be really sensitive and aware that there are other people out there who are doing calendars. So we just need to make sure that we try to coordinate with them if we can. Those dots not undermine what they're doing already, and then hopefully we can work together to make it more comprehensive than this is still coming out. Having had that conversation with people.
Yeah. The calendar that I'm speaking about, just like specifically referring to is online. So I think, it's our calendar, it's the Main Street calendar, DDA, City of Jasper. So all they have to do when they have an event, anyone, because that's the thing, we're trying to drive people in, so it doesn't necessarily have to be our downtown lives. Can we put it in bold on that calendar? Downtown lives. Yes, we can. But it can be an event calendar for
It's being held downtown, like the PACA events would go on this calendar, KPP.
So-
But we'll put it on our
NDR.
calendar.
Just to, so this isn't, guys, this isn't necessarily a budget discussion.
Well, yeah.
So can we
Yeah.
hold that for another meeting or another time?
Yeah.
And move on to the next item on the agenda if we don't have anything else for the budget?
I think we're done.
We good?
You guys.
Thank you all for your input. I very much appreciate the work that you did. I know that took some time for you to develop all that, and it's very appreciative. So what we'll do from here is put these numbers together, spreadsheet it, fill in those last final details, get it out to everybody for their review, have a conversation with the city about it, and go from there. Sound good?
So we have a formal date set for when we meet with the city.
October 2nd.
Okay.
So we'll have time at our September 22nd DDA meeting to finalize and approve that act.
Josh, when y'all's, you know any dates on the budgeting process? I know we haven't, probably the council's not been involved yet, but we're getting ready to be, I know, but, you know,
I feel like I should, but I don't.
that's okay.
I also feel that way. I know Kim told me, I don't remember right now.
I think we have a special call meeting coming up.
Okay.
Next month,
I feel like I should know.
we're waiting for some stuff on the, from the tax folks.
Okay.
Before we do that.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, downtown lighting. I'll make this quick. You have in front of you a draft for the decorative lighting easement agreement. This is a document that was developed by legal to protect the DDA, as we are the ones that hire the folks that service and maintain the lighting that Jack talked about earlier from a budget perspective. The idea would be that the business owners who want to grant access to their buildings for purposes of installing and maintaining the lighting would sign this document, giving the DDA an easement so that they can't come back later and say, we didn't give you permission to do that. You're on our property illegally, or your lighting folks are on our property illegally. So this protects the DDA from those things. I know you've all had a chance to review it. Obviously,
If I may.
sorry.
If I may, the second part of that is that it holds those property owners harmless, so it
Correct.
protects the DDA,
Yes.
but it also holds the property owner harmless if something were to happen.
Correct.
Very, very powerful part of that document, so.
Good point. Thank you for saying that. So the document has been given to you. I know you got a chance to review it. The only thing that would change from document to document is the address of the easement property, which is right there at the first item there, and it would be specific to, of course, each individual property. So with that, we would entertain a motion to approve the decorative lighting easement agreement as presented.
In an effort to get this into business owners' hands as quickly as possible, I'll make a motion to approve.
My second. We have a motion and a second. We have any discussion? All those in favor of approving the decorative lighting easement agreement as presented, raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, and thank you, Jack, for all of your work. I know you're going to be meeting with our downtown businesses soon about this.
Can I make a statement?
Yes.
I met with Kim this morning, and she is going to print me up all the business owners in downtown with the names, address, so I can know where I'm going. Because some of the owners have changed, there's actually 6 or 7 that's changed. So I will be starting on that as quick as I get that information. We can go out and down the street and see if I get this done. I'll begin with Paris and what we need all the information.
That's,
Property owners, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, and if you need help with that, let us know.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, on to new business. Thank you all for your patience as we got through the budgeting process. We appreciate that. Item number 1 under new business, economic development discussion. Mr. Dave Terry and Amy Leake are here to speak to us about a project they have at Hensley Plaza, I believe. Mr. Terry?
Yes. Thank y'all for the opportunity. So yeah, Jeannie, Amy, and I are here tonight just in the spirit of partnership, in the spirit of collaboration. So reached out to Parrish. We felt like the discussion tonight was timely because Hensley Plaza has been brought up, the back of Main Street, downtown parking, sidewalk improvements, walkability, all these things that kind of have a lot of overlap with the DDA. So we just wanted to, have some open discussion around what are the DDA's thoughts? How do we make sure everyone's voice is being heard as we talk through kind of a shared vision for what does happen with the back of Main Street? Does it align with DDA initiatives? And really what we ask for is for assistance with a lot of planning. The city staff, the DDA are the experts, and you represent a cross section of the community. So we really want to hear what your thoughts are on the back of Main Street. The one-way conversion of Wall Street is a big part of that discussion. If there's any questions anyone has about that, we're happy to answer them.
So does everybody know where the property in question is? Does anybody not know where the property in question is located? So at Hensley Plaza, which Dave's done a great job renovating, making into a really cool space, hopefully occupied by another tenant soon. Of course, they have Amy's salon branched off and opened a barbershop, and there's the other tenant in the building right now. So what I would say to that, and then I'll let the board chime in, is the timing is interesting because we recently had a 2-day meeting that Sonny referenced earlier, and one of the things we did is we took our host on a walking tour of Jasper, and that included both sides of Main Street. We also went further out into our Main Street boundary that we created last month, I think it was, we voted on. And of course, your property certainly falls into that Main Street boundary. So I think by definition, it's important to us from especially a Main Street perspective. What I would say is there's challenges, I think, with the backside of Main Street. I don't think that's going to be an overnight fix. But one of the things that I noticed in showing Ebony, our host, that area, I pointed to the depot and your property and the Jasper Junction building, all that sort of looking like you could tie it all together somehow. But my next thing was, how do we get there from here? You can't even walk. You have to cross the state highway and jaywalk to get over there. So definitely interested in how we can fix that problem. I don't know if some of the things you're proposing to the city help fix those issues, but I think tremendous opportunity. I would say, from my perspective on the DDA, that's an important property to us.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Yeah. I think our overall goal tonight was really to plant the seed to just make sure that our voice is being heard as you're discussing kind of what the priorities are. One of the things we do hear a lot, Garish, that I do want to caution the DDA is a lot of it is we're told that timing issue, that this is an interest, but the timing may not be the best because there's other initiatives that are already under discussion. So we do feel like there needs to be a sense of urgency. The data that we hear, a lot of small businesses are down 10 to 15% in revenue. A lot of pent up frustration on parking. People don't understand why the courthouse parking lot isn't being, better utilized. And what the things that we're talking about, they have been brought up and reinforced before, especially around when the amphitheater, planning was being done. There's a Kimberly Worth study that, advocates for different concepts, and one of them is definitely the one-way conversion for, Wall Street. So I think just I know we're bringing in a lot of national franchises. I know there's some good excitement for that, but the heartbeat of our community are those downtown locally owned small businesses. So we want to make sure we continue to prioritize issues that impact their business. And, some of you visited Amy's barbershop. You see that she doesn't have the best, convenience parking right now. A lot of you have had to do your own enforcement for angled parking spaces. So with what we're talking about behind Main Street, with all the work that Carly's doing, when do we make things like, parking and better traffic flow and one-way conversions? We want to be careful that it just, it doesn't continue to get tabled, doesn't get, just pushed to the back burner because, it might not have been, on the front, burner, so to speak. So, that's all. If anybody has questions about Hensley Plaza, what the goals are, happy to address those.
Here's make a couple of comments.
Sure.
Dave, I don't want you to think that this is not a priority. It has been for 8 years. The meeting that happened Friday was a culmination of a lot of planning and a lot of leadership in bringing that to fruition. I know you're a strong proponent of Main Street. And there have been diversions along the way that maybe people who weren't supportive of the Main Street program, but we're moving forward on that. I will share, without exposing what the strategic transformation strategies are, because that'll be formalized in the next couple of months. One of those key strategies that we agreed on kind of universally was planning projects and locations for projects and doing inventories of properties. And so I think the reality of it is that we recognize that it's time to keep moving. And now that we've checked the box, which is a huge box in the Perot Park, which I believe our next pre-con meeting on that is on the 3rd of September, unfortunately. Groundbreaking was rained out, but that was a huge project. It was the other anchor being always poorly mentioned bathrooms, but that was part of the plan, and the focus was on exactly what you're trying to do. And the Killing Horn study is instrumental in that, and it also got backburnered, not necessarily by anybody's choice. So I'm glad to see that back out. So I'm encouraged by it. I think you should be. I know it's hard to just hear this and it not be formalized, but yeah.
No, we're very excited. We're encouraged by the direction the DDA is going. Just being here today, a lot of great ideas are being generated. So a lot of good discussion. We need more of that engagement, and it's okay if we have discourse and disagree sometimes. That's how we get better. That's how we're going to improve. So just, we're excited. We're excited about what's happening. I think what we want to see happen more than anything is just continuing the momentum of what's, happening with, Perot Park, the amphitheater, fixing up some of the infrastructure, the aging infrastructure in downtown, talking about improving the landscaping. How do we make sure, the back of Main Street isn't the redheaded stepchild? We need to make sure that that's part of the extended conversation to make sure, that happens. And, again, we're here in the spirit of, partnership. And, if I mention these things, it doesn't mean that we don't think it's being discussed or happening behind the scenes. It's just, we want to continue to have dialogue like this.
Yes, appreciate it. Dave, can I say something?
Sure.
We just recently went through 2 meetings last week. The boundaries were extended.
and you're in, we want you to know that there was some, I can say this group right here, there's a lot of discussion from all areas.
Yep.
And it was all good. It was good, not that previous boards didn't do this. I'm just saying what we've learned from Ebony and where we're going. But the thing I want you to realize, and this is the MVP thing we're talking about government, you want something today, but it may take a while to get it. We just did that, but that's the applicator for everything. However, we're there.
Yep.
But don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
We're thinking about you.
Yeah.
We're trying to do things to make your product grow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we reflect the whole city, not just parts.
No, totally, absolutely.
It boils down to resources, you know that.
Yes.
And we have to prioritize them, but like Kimley Horn study is a priority for me. And likewise, it's irresponsible to make promises to people that we can't deliver on in a reasonable amount of time. And so far, we haven't done that. I measure anxiously awaiting the next step. She'll talk to Leake tomorrow night. Am I right? Is it? Yep. Right. So.
I was given the Kimley Horn study. I read the whole thing. I was asked to summarize it for Brandon Douglas. I did that. I sent it to him. I sent it to Parrish. So we have just done that. So we are working on that because it was given to me. So read it, summarized it, picked out key points, sent it to Brandon, sent it to Parrish. So that is something I've had time to finally read and do. And so we are working on some stuff to do with that. The plan that they're talking about that we just did that will be finalized when we get the document of the 2-day training they did last week. When that all comes out, and with that we'll have it's the plan for the next 3 years. So when we have that formalized, we'll also be making that public, and you'll, I think, see a lot of that stuff's in there.
It's September 16th, there's a meeting, is that correct?
Yes, the September 16th meeting at 5:30 as the precursor to the November 18th 5:30 input meeting. So it took a long on this real quick. The Main Street America has an annual community input and vision session that is for the business owners in the Main Street boundary. So, but because Main Street is new here, the September 6th meeting was a suggestion from Parrish, so I think it's a good one. I talked over with Jim and Brandon. It's kind of an educational session. So while both are a quorum of both council and DDA, so they're both public. The first one is educational. Who I am, why am I here? Because that has been a topic. What Main Street is, what we're doing, what the goals are, what it does, who the board is. Then in November, again, anyone's welcome, but it will be focusing on the business owners within our boundary and their input to us on what they want the board to be doing. So those are coming up also.
You say 6 or 16?
16.
Okay.
And we want people like you there at that meeting in November. Our goal is to get feedback just like this and have that transparency that you want. Unfortunately, you can't have an idea to have a meeting and have it the next week because no one's going to show up. So we're trying to figure out a way to advertise it one way through this community engagement session on the 16th to help us advertise, why should you be there in November? Because here's what it is. Here's what can transform through this process that can accomplish the things that you want to see us accomplish, I think. But, we appreciate you as a community partner. You're a huge advocate for our community. I know personally and professionally that that's the case. And I just, we're always open. My phone's always open to you, to ideas that you have that we could be doing that we're not currently doing, or change gears or whatever it might be to help, because that's all we want to do. And this board, I can tell you, is committed to that. And I feel very strongly about that.
Yes, no, I appreciate all the thoughts. And I'm looking forward to the September 16th meeting, whatever Amy and I can do to promote that. And I think let's just continue having good conversations like this that lead us, in a better direction, overall. So we're getting there.
Appreciate that.
Cool. Goodbye. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Hang on just for a second.
Sure, yeah.
I just want to say thanks to Dave as a tenant of his property and sitting where you all have sat and sitting on this side. He was talking about a couple of the small businesses had seen a decrease. We've seen a 400% increase in just, I guess, 5 months in our company down there. We've already hired a new barber. So parking, aesthetics, all of that is super important to us. We thought we'd step into this a little slowly, work our way into it. Dave would have the next tenant, but that barbershop thankfully has kind of exploded into a need for our community. So just our ask is also just keep us in mind as you're planning with your Main Street America. We know the boundaries there. Let us be a partner with you. Jean Bryan is also here as the new owners of the depot. I just want to publicly say you have 3 pretty heavy hitters that are in your community, live here, work here, own the business here. You know, we didn't just buy a property and make it pretty and just leave it here. So in my opinion, that matters, that you have your heavy hitters here and they're willing to partner with you. So thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something? Gene, you just took the depot.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what you're doing?
No spot.
I do, right? So right now, as far as what's going into the depot, it's still being reimagined. Our focus right now is to rehabilitate. That building has, obviously a lot to offer, and we are so excited about, what the future can hold for that. But our focus right now is really working to rehabilitate it. We met with an architect last week and talked through. They're putting together plans. Obviously, we have to partner with the city on, a lot in that regard. So that's kind of where we are at this point. But we want it to be a destination, and whatever that means and however that ends up evolving, we're excited to make it a really destination place for the downtown Jasper area.
I will say this, you're a part of history.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be there. And, I'm doing a lot with history. I know there's not a lot of people in this room know this, but I'm doing a lot with history right now. So your picture's on the wall.
Great. We would love it. And that's another thing, Bridget, we're looking for and asking for as much history, photos, anything stories that people want to share. It's been fun to hear, and it's helped us in terms of, just like I said, kind of reimagining what the depot is going to be for the community.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 2 under new business, PACA discussion. Carly?
Yes, so Angela's here. Did you want me to go up?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
So Angela is here. Kim and I had a meeting with Angela. I think Angela had another meeting with Brandon and Kim, and but we were talking about. I'm trying to find the text that's in here so I can stay on task here. So Angela can explain. Kim has asked Angela if they would consider having 3 art walks next year instead of 2. And then I think that we're supposed to be partnering with other community partners and nonprofits, and their events are held in Main Street, which it is our job to protect and promote, and not just, we're ultimately advocating for other people as well as ourselves, but we need to be kind of more involved, which we've talked about. And so obviously a 3rd art walk, that puts stress on Angela, who has a whole other job, and other things. And, it's resources. I think someone made that point a minute ago. I think Dr. Proctor did maybe. Resources, the people, the time, money. So, and I know that they're having another event with the Historical Society that's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's in November. It's going to be our open house.
Yeah, so being present, things like that. Do they need help with things like that? And then also, I know Cam and I, and Angela and I, and Cam kind of talked about, there's sort of one event type gap missing. Is sort of maybe a fancy event. And is there an event that the officially, like they're partnering with the Historical Society of this open house, and like other organizations partner with one another, could maybe this board and Angela partner on an event that is not just ours and not just PACA's, but something we do together? Let her explain more, like just what maybe that would look like.
Well, I don't know. So that's the thing.
What do you need, or what would you want from us? What can we help with? What,
I don't know if I have the answer to that right now. For like an event like Art Walk, a lot of what I do, I don't know how to farm out because it's picking artists, it's doing things, that are one person sitting on a computer. So I'm really kind of like, when Carly approached me, I'm really looking for ideas about how like we could work together. What Pam was saying earlier about the bench player who's here, with like sponsorship packages and things like that. I could see us being helped in that way where, maybe we try to scale up Art Walk in a way that our pool of volunteers can do because we're kind of tapped out. So just a little bit of history, Art Walk, Jack was with me in 2022 when we started all of this. And so it was really just me and a few volunteers developing this program. And it was all by email initially. So you just kind of go, oh, well, this doesn't work. We're going to need the form and this doesn't work. And, so I think we brought it kind of as far as we can with our volunteers. And so someone is an event planner might be able to bring it to a different level. So that could be an area that, could be some assistance. I don't know. But I'm really open to input or ideas.
So do the art walks break even, make money, or lose money?
So it's not a fundraiser. So PACA funds about 50% of each event. And then we have funding from the city of Jasper, and then we got some private sponsorships for that.
So we have partners other than just the DDA. The chamber is the one that is most recognized. That's a legal obligation for our designated marketing organization. But we've also partnered with PACA and with Keep Pickens Beautiful and with the library. Those are the ones that come and I'd like to, first of all, thank Angela. When we did our Main Street application, she did write a letter of support. And that's all it was a letter of support. And so I think that as we evolve, as I think we're evolving pretty quickly, I think it's great that we can kind of take one. And I'll also say the Preservation Society will one as well. So we just have to work through these questions, challenges. I'm sure that when we come through all the other side, it'll be awesome.
Well, if I could say just with Dave, just having spoken, I would, like with Art Walk, I would love to incorporate more than just Main Street, maybe Mark Whitfield Street or, have the Wall Street Barber and that area included. I will say that it's been a challenge for me in the past to have businesses that are kind of outliers who want to participate because it's very hard to get people to walk there. And so I don't know how to fix that problem.
So one year you had a cornbread stroll or whatever down on
DB
Carroll Street. DB Carroll Street did come up in our talks last week. So I think all of that is it's an eventuality that we're going to get bigger in our footprint, and I think it's great. Your events are great because people actually go in the store. So
That's what I was fixing to comment. The thing about Art Walk is every store that participates has an artist, and some of us have two. And the engagement with those people that's coming off the streets, number one, we're not closed down the streets. Number two, you get to go and walk wherever you want to go, and you've got band and music there. It's a fun activity, and kids are involved. And I'm not saying serving downtown life that it's not the case. I'm just saying I think for the businesses, they get a more financial improvement, Brian. Is you get more things going on, and so it just makes, I know, and I'm just gonna tell you, the first time we did it, one night, I was up 300%. So, anyway, it's, I just think that's a great thing.
So any sound economic development strategy for main streets or communities in general, the arts is a tremendous part of it. It brings people that otherwise are never going to come downtown. And it's just, the first time that information was presented to our community, it was like, well, what are you talking about? But I mean, it's just one of the, and that's why it was actually part of our discussion last week about making sure that we take care of that.
Right. And that, a lot of the people who attend the event are from out of town as well.
That's right.
So this isn't kind of like, you see events and it's kind of insular in that the people who attend are the people who live here, but if you're limited with tourism, I really think Art Walk does a good job at getting people from out of town. And even just the artists who apply to be a juried artist, I had someone as far away as Savannah apply to listen to Alpharetta Rose. Also, the word's really getting out as far as that goes. But so just historically, Art Walk, it did start with 3 events a year, 2022 and 2023. We had 3 events each year. And then just to preserve my sanity, we ratcheted that back down to 2. But, PACA is in kind of a really good spot right now. We last year hired an executive coordinator. So we're kind of getting all of our ducks in a row on the back end as far as like database management, newsletters, getting into the 21st century with things. And we're really seeing a big turnaround as far as like number of people who are interested in volunteering. So we're going to be opening, doing workshops and class events, things that, are free to the community. We're partnering with the library. We're continuing our Youth Art Month and also Art Walk. So we've got a lot of initiatives going on right now. So we're in a really good kind of active space, so we're definitely willing to kind of entertain any ideas that you all have.
So I think one of your missing pieces was to like your art, and Harley just mentioned about having something that's a little informal or something like that. I don't know if you've ever been to Greenville. I've spoken to like Hugh about this as well. It's one of the ideas we actually plan forward with our committee, that they have a large event every year around Mother's Day weekend or either on Mother's Day weekend. That's like Artist View. Think about it.
You met Wanda?
Yeah, we've
Okay, all right, I'm just making sure.
We have.
They have a very large fine arts event in the city. It's on all stands of Main Street, and they bring in artists from like all over. So I think we could do something like that here. Him and I discussed having like a fine arts walk or something like that, but more so for us with like trying to partner with somebody, so it's like not all on us to do. So I think we can all work together on that, as well as push the event.
Yeah.
To get in, local artists, but also artists from Savannah, Alpha, maybe, something like out of state artists, things like that. And I think that would be one of the missing puzzle pieces for you guys.
It's more fine arts, which we do have fine arts at Art Walk. So the whole kind of vision for Art Walk for me is I wanted to avoid the kind of stuffy art gallery.
I
just wanted to say that so I really like the idea of having different kinds of arts events that are appealing to different art lovers.
Yeah, that's what
so like fine arts events that Carly was talking about is something we could discuss maybe.
I don't think there's any rule that says we can't have community members in our committees. It may be that we would invite you to the events committees, and I'm just trying to throw another meat at you, but at least I'm trying to get you together with the folks that, maybe get partner and have some dialogue, and maybe that would be at least a generator of ideas.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a square one. Like I said, I'm not a great idea person, but
I'll text you my ideas.
Yeah, there you go. Pam is the idea
There you
person.
go.
That is not okay.
Welcome to the.
But yeah.
Oh, great.
I just wanted to start the. Yeah.
This was a bait and switch. Oh my God.
I didn't know. I was not aware that was happening.
Wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Just that,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know you were coming tonight, so.
So I'm definitely open to ideas. I've been hearing about the Main Street program for years, from Sunny, and I was always kind
And
of.
Amy, don't.
And Amy, yeah, and I was always just very confused about how this would help PACA, but I'm starting to kind of see where that would fit in, and I'm definitely open to having and discussing ideas. People, yeah.
Sorry. There's a lot of talk about the meeting last week, and particularly that we should be at. You have to understand, it was one of the most amazing things I've ever been a part of, as far as like a developmental meeting. I loved it because this group of people, the ideas and the drive behind that meeting was incredible. And just the feeling overall was really, Davey, was cool. But it was lots of conversation about driving downtown, lots of conversation about tourism, lots of conversation about promotion, billboards, all these ideas and things. So
Walkability,
living. I mean, literally thousands of ideas. And it was just that it was literally, Ebony kept referring to it as a brain dump. And then when we get back, we planned things out and listen, there's some really cool things coming.
I love collaborating. I love ideas. It's why I do. So
Yeah, and just to tag on that, to be more specific about the Main Street requirements, we have 4 committees right now: economic development, promotions, design, and organization. And under the design category, these are literally a couple of the bullet points. Install public art or murals that complement your community's specific assets. Research, design, and install downtown plaques that speak to the history or something significant to the community, which could be arts. Activate underutilized spaces to engage the public and share your story. For instance, selfie spots, Main Street Museum, window clings, pop-up shops, or art. So it's in there.
right.
I mean, it's that whole design category gives us every reason to reach out to someone like you and say, how can we make this happen?
I would love to help.
Yeah. So
If you're in there, PACA was talked about a lot.
yes.
Well, I'm a huge proponent for public art and murals. And I would love to see more of that. I would love to see some marble sculptures somewhere in town.
We talked about
If
that.
me and Brian were preaching murals, so they probably wanted to kill me.
Yeah, I love a mural. So any way we can help facilitate that or come up with ideas, I would love to.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
And please come to our meetings, September 16th and November 18th. That's where our ears are going to be wide open to.
I gave Dan the paperwork on that. Oh, those 2
I'll just
days.
write.
Yeah, but they're both at 5:30 on those 2 days. Yes.
So I want to sing our praises also on the city side of things. We're gonna, hopefully y'all know the comprehensive plan so that we can ultimately move forward with some things to help maintain our infrastructure. But she's actually on the steering committee for the comprehensive plan as a artist, not as a paper, but as a feminist artist. She'll have to address whether she's enjoying it or not. It's
interesting.
It's pretty dry. It's pretty dry.
It's pretty dry, but it's a new element of city planning that's interesting, and I'm enjoying being here in a role other than a reporter. So being the role that earns. But I did want to mention just quickly. PACA is partnering with the Pickens Historical Society, and I know you've mentioned some kind of history event that you need to have.
Yeah, next May will. That's Historical Preservation Month.
Oh, it's next May. Okay.
Well, yeah, but that would be like one of our larger scale events, like not quite a downtown live, but yeah. So partnering with the Historical Society has been discussed, which is and PACA, anything. We haven't really crafted a theme. That's kind of hoping that David will assist in it. If that works out.
What's y'all's event?
But
So we have an office on Main Street, which we just kind of painted and got some furniture in there. And the idea has always been for that office to have a rotating gallery. Because it's got a nice big window, so have rotating carpets in there. And we had a local family donate art from, so one of the families passed away. He's got a veteran and a page of General MacArthur, but they donated a lot of artwork from him. So we thought we would use that artwork as the gallery show. And then do that in conjunction with our open house. And then with the historical element, we thought it made sense to have a joint open house with the Historical Society. So if there would be things going on there, you could tour the jail, come look at that art in PACA, and then we might have some food and,
Bill Cagle also, is Bill still the president?
He is, yeah. And he's also on the PACA board.
He wrote a letter of support as well.
Right.
when is that?
We're November 9th.
Like as well.
So that's right for Veterans Day update. So for that, we're thinking of something a little more patriotic, maybe boiled peanuts or something. Oh yeah.
That's boiled peanuts that crack me up.
They're very.
I'm not wrong.
That's right. Sorry, six. And then just the last thing is that we have an actual formal grant application this year, which I'm very excited about. So that's just open as of last week. So if you know of any arts, culture groups, organizations, or individuals, they can visit our website and you can apply for the grant there. And those will be announced and opened.
So it's coming from you, not to you.
It's coming from us, right? So for the last 2 years, we've awarded $15,000 of grants. And so the way we've done it in the past is the boards just kind of brainstormed and come up with merit-based groups. But we wanted to have an actual application process because we felt like there may be subgroups that we may be overlooking. So if you know of anyone, please let them know.
That's us.
It does open.
Dope.
Cool. Oh, and just real quickly, we are applying for a grant for Georgia Council for the Arts grant.
Yes, I asked you about that a couple of years ago. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're submitting that in probably a week, and we should have the answer in October.
I'll find the best. That's awesome.
So I'm happy to answer any other questions, although I've been up here a while.
Oh, Ricky. Anything else, Brenda?
Good stuff.
We'll get you with Pam.
So come to that.
Well,
Thank you, Angela.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's do it.
All right, on to item 3, fall photo ops on Main and trick or treating on Main discussion.
Like that enunciation for the sport seems
Trick or treat.
very clear. That's it. I mean, the only thing to do.
Take them out. Listen,
Yes.
it's not very quick conduct here. This kind of coincides with our DDA Scarecrow.
Fine.
and boots.
See you.
No, this is a golf.
But guys,
Oh my gosh, you could be a golfer.
You can be a golfer.
A Paris Scarecrow. Well, Proctor. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, fall decorating on Main Street. For this one, Brian is mocked up as like the main one.
always twin.
Hello, Kim. Hello. I think this is all great. I was about to say the only input I've had is if we put them anywhere else on Main Street. I want to get Josh's input on where, but also maybe we don't have pumpkins on those because apparently they can be made a mess of because, people kick them and we don't want Josh's guys to have to clean them up. But here I feel like it's fine. But yeah, we do need to, the first day of fall is September 21st. So, any thoughts? It's kind of just describing what do you guys want to do? Right?
General thought was, so we have that really beautiful spot in front of the courthouse. And I don't know if we would have to get approval from Pickens County. I don't think we would. If we keep it between the two.
I'm not sure. I believe we probably would, but
Well, anyway, I mean,
I'm
it's
not
fine.
sure.
You could reach out.
you probably would.
But hay is about, you go to any other city, they're going to have places for you to stop and take selfies. And I'm looking at this from a standpoint, so in front of our office in Dalton. We used to do, and we really haven't done it in a couple of years because Christmas is such a big deal for our customers and goodwill and whatnot. But we used to do this display, and it was really gaudy and ugly and undressable. All buttoned in one big display, and it was like inflatables and pumpkins and mums, and we literally put it in the front yard in front of our office, and people would pull into the parking lot. Let their kids get out and stand and like the inflatables. I'm not a fan of inflatables. They can be used at certain times. It's great. But if we had something like, the Scarecrow contest is coming up. So my thoughts was if we could do a display in front of the courthouse, because that is the biggest, most open area to keep it like kind of central to the whole downtown area, would be to, just kind of like what's in the mock-up here. You build the wall with the hay bales. You put the hay bales out at the bottom so people can sit and really personalize that to Jasper. And then the DDA is to have to seek out a place for the DDA. We can do a DDA Scarecrow right here on this and make it a part of the photo likers in here. But, talking about the history, the house is old and it's historic, and it's it'd be a really good photo op for it to be right there. Yeah, doesn't have to be. It's not the mellow be all or whatever, but it was just kind of the general idea. But like Carly said, the big question is where else we could have them, and can we? Everybody does a Scarecrow in front of their business. Usually, we sign up, we do a Scarecrow. Typically, we would attach ours to the light post right outside the flower shop. So encouraging everybody to do more instead of just a Scarecrow, to maybe do some sort of a scene, so to speak, something to go along with it.
You jury it.
And, basically. I mean, it's jury typically, isn't it? Isn't there like
First the Scarecrow.
There's just people
They
voted.
vote with a QR code.
Oh, yeah, it's first, second, third, and people's choice.
Okay, so there you go.
Sorry, yeah, was in. Okay.
Yes.
Although is that not the next item?
Yeah, there's a separate
It is,
Scarecrow.
but it's
Okay.
kind of flowing in, the selfie spots. I mean, people will take photos and we want to encourage people to vote and whatnot, but as far as selfie spots and decorating, encouraging businesses to really kind of like, step it up and make little timer lights and things like that. And that's where some of the costs would not be on us as much as it would be some of the businesses to kind of beef up their display, so to speak. And then it goes from us having to find maybe 4 or 5 selfie spots to really get a focus on maybe 1 or 2 really nice spots.
I was going to say, Kim just suggested maybe a second one of these under the Jasper mural in Stickball as the second.
That's what I was thinking, that as the actual lot, its location would be.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because people take pictures there all the time.
Well, and my other thought was like if we did one instead of right there, maybe on Stegall, but maybe like on the south end of town, right there on that corner under the tree. And then they can use that tree on the corner as the backdrop. They could go ahead and start whatever it's going to be down with Crow, and that's not really going to hamper anything other than that front corner right there. But we could have 2 really nice spots.
When would this be out?
Well, they like really want to be out by the 21st. So we have to September, Josh.
The end of October?
Well, like Carly mentioned earlier,
So,
multi-purpose.
my thoughts. As long as we can keep it looking nice, and again, that's where Josh's buying comes in. Where do they go? What's easiest? What's not going to make his guys have an issue with whatever they're doing? Is okay, we decorate for fall, September 22nd, first day of fall starts, whatever, we're good to go. And so it looked, and then you can make for the month of October, because I think scarecrows run like October 7th through the 31st, so say that time frame, you can add Halloween decor to whatever was put up. So then you've got decorate for Halloween for almost a month. Then you remove the Halloween, we're back to fall until when do you put up Christmas?
Thanksgiving Day,
Do we
Day
typically
before.
start in the middle of
Yeah.
November?
Okay, so until he needs to start doing that, they stay up sans Halloween. So really we're covering 3 months with one hit if we can take care of it. And then whenever Josh needs to start putting up Christmas stuff, I'll take it down.
That's the only thing we would ask for, is make sure whoever puts them up, takes them down.
Yeah.
But we do not want to store them again. We had to store some last year.
So you're talking about the scarecrows.
Yes, no storing of the scarecrows. Public works.
No, the business is.
They don't get it down by a certain day, they go, they're trashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
they
still go
still,
out there and get it, and it gets thrown away.
I still had some out with, a month later, and we wound up trashing it, because.
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah, it's got to go. So what's our role in all this?
We're doing the decorating. We have to probably buy some
We're
stuff.
doing it.
We'd have to buy some stuff.
So is this in the events committee? I'm on the boss.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You pay attention?
Yeah, I just didn't, anyway.
Sorry. So you're down. Okay, so yeah, do we want to do this? Number one, we would have to pay for some of it. Number two, we would have to set some of it out. Number three, thoughts.
I mean, are we just talking about throwing some hay bales out there and some corn stalks and calling it a day? Or is it more than that?
I mean, yeah, basically, if we set it all up once, I can keep it maintained until it comes down.
Did anyone look into how much it costs?
Brian,
How about the, yeah, how
come on.
much?
You're here.
The hay bales are roughly like $7 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I was expecting more.
They're usually about $7 each.
I mean, it'll be
In this photo right here, there are
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15, 16.
16. And then you've got $20 a bundle for corn stalks. Pumpkins are anywhere from $5 to $8 each. I mean, I would throw some silk fall flowers at the deal for free just to help.
Yeah, fake flowers.
Sure.
So, I mean, ideally, if we did 2 of them,
Come back around me the bucks.
Maybe.
$500 to $700 tops.
This is a y'all decision.
I don't feel strongly one way or the other, so that's,
Yeah, we had just mentioned it, and I volunteer to distribute. I'll help Carly maintain it, or clean it out, pick it up, haul it off, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind checking on doing all the things if y'all decide you want to put them up. If you don't, we don't, move on. If we do want to decorate, once it gets up, I'll keep it checked on and keep it out of public works.
So since we're already in this process, let's just add that to the budget conversation, which we will vote on the 22nd. I think it'd be perfect.
She's talking for this year though.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be out by the 21st.
I'll go out on the 23rd and buy
Oh,
them.
September
Brian and I can throw them out on the 24th.
Yeah.
2 days won't kill
Yeah.
us. That's fine with me if you want to do that.
Sorry.
Whatever hurts your brain, though, because I know I'd probably do these.
A this year thing. Yes, I have, anybody opposed to
You've had a long
this
day.
proposal?
We both. Yeah, add it to both.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Sounds
Well,
good.
it's actually a this year thing, so,
add it to this year.
yeah,
With the money.
Yes.
we do.
Green lights.
Okay, anything else on that? Scarecrow? Item number 4.
Scarecrow. So
I
one.
need out here, but I don't really about it.
See,
I swear, Parrish and I meet a week before.
well, it'll all day.
We both had a long day. It's been a lot of driving today.
So are
Parrish
we.
and I.
Yeah.
Were you engaged
It's
in
okay.
anything?
Well,
Okay.
it's not. I did a scarecrow on here.
So, one
Here,
we
you want me to just take it?
I can do it.
Okay.
One, we need to make a scarecrow. So, thoughts on, please don't make me build the whole thing by myself and what we want it to look like. And then we need to promote the event. You all have a flyer in your packet that Kim made that we can use. Kim gave me the signs. We already have the signs from last year we can use. Kim's worked with Mary, helped on some stuff for the, I think, QR codes and graphics and things. Mother sees that's for Andy on website.
So are we organizing?
Website and
Scarecrow?
Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Kim Golden for everyone. Last year we kind of took over the Scarecrow thing, and it was pretty successful. And from what feedback we've gotten so far, the city has determined that it may be even more successful this year. There are a lot of people that are very eager to participate again. And I think, and this is just me saying, that this may take care of your decorating sort of thing in the alley. If you wanted it to, that could be your location for your Scarecrow or something like that.
The DDA Scarecrow.
Yes, the DDA Scarecrow, should y'all decide to participate with one. Last year we had all of the poles assigned, but then we had some businesses that did along the fronts of their businesses as well. And so my thought is, if you are a Main Street business, is that you decorate up against the front of your business, because I think we may have a lot of poles spoken for. There may be some available for downtown businesses to take, but we had a bunch of people that aren't located on Main Street want to decorate a Scarecrow and put it out. So, there's 33 poles. If you count all the way up to the old jail to just north of that. So, you could have a lot of decorations out there. We've got everything ready to go. Mary Lindsay has helped me with the registration form. We would do that electronically again. What I've asked Carly to do is, I've got everything ready for her. We just need who's going to be actually participating. We'll get that in the Survey Monkey, which is the voting mechanism that is used again, and then it will become Carly's baby to handle from that point forward. So
we need money for the prizes?
We are going to be responsible for the prizes. That's the main thing.
I think you may recall last year the DDA was gracious enough to go out and solicit some gift cards and things like that for prizes, and so that seemed to be great.
Okay.
We had enough prizes to where we were able to give a first, second, third, and honorable mention. So also that part will be easy. I mean, I still have in my basement somewhere like the basket that I got last year, because I'm not a gift card person. So I can just go through those and be like, hey, you gave this to us last year. We just write a new one for this year and be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For Christmas, Pam doesn't use gift card signs.
Don't have him.
Gift cards.
So if y'all can help with that, that would certainly be helpful. But as a Main Street initiative, that would be a DDA type thing that would be helpful. I can get you off the ground and running if y'all can just take it from that point. I would say too, like, even if we could do in the future, maybe not this year, maybe, this is just my thoughts, it'll be quick. Some of these other cities, they have people pay to participate, and then you can have cash prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
Well, that was my next question. I don't remember. Is there a fee to enter?
There has and hasn't been in the past. So last year there was not, because the city took it over, Kim took it over. Before that, some random Facebook group did it, and they did have you pay to participate. And there were cash prizes. I think Scarecrows are an evolving event. They're fun. It's easy at this point. If y'all want to take it and grow it from this to where, it's kind of like Art Walk. It is truly juried, and you get some fantastic participants and things like that. You certainly can. I think y'all have an awful lot of really good things going on right now, but you have a lot of things going on too. And so maybe this year is the year where you kind of continue from this point, what was started last year. And then maybe next year, you expand a little bit more, and the next year you expand a little bit more, and so on and so forth.
Scarecrow too, right?
I already have an idea.
Okay.
Yeah, we're making pairs.
You won't have one of us.
He's got a whole sentence in his bathroom, so he's gonna be quiet.
Suggestions, I think that might for several dollars.
That's not bad. Can we give him a visor?
All right, that sounds good. Okay, everybody good with that? Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all helping us.
And whoever presents the prizes to the winners will need to be at the November council meeting. Also, I know Brian and Pam and Jack might already be there because this might get the rest of you out of it.
But I might be there too, I straw it.
What? They don't get this on Main Street if you let me finish. The trick or treating, I know they'll already be there probably because they have businesses on Main Street and the trick or treating is involved in that. But if we could, I'm just gonna go. If people need help, whatever, show face. If you want to come hang out trick or treating, that'd be great. Okay, now I'm done.
Very good. You're next.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Downtown Live. The last Downtown Live went extremely well. We've already started talking about stuff for next year. No complaints. Like I said, it was the first one Brandon let me do by myself. I got the go ahead that it went well enough that I can now do them by myself. So thanks for that, guys. The placer data that I know like 3 of you have asked about. I spoke with Nacio at Georgia Power. They've switched systems to a different company than they used to use. This new company is called Datafy. They said I should have the information for June, July, and August events by the end of next week, to which I'll be in Michigan. So when I get back, I'll let you guys know if I've received that when I get back. The GDA conference that Parrish and I are at today, or we're at today, tomorrow, Wednesday, all day. We made that basket with donation. Megan put it together for me. So shout out to Megan, Honeysuckle, thank you. I'm dropping that off in the morning because they don't get plates on the tables till in the morning. So I'll be dropping that off at like 7:30 in the morning. So the meeting, you've heard them all refer to this entire longest DDA meeting possibly on record ever.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, sorry. Is the meeting where our Department of Community Affairs rep, her name's Ebony Simpson, came up from Savannah, where she lives, to do our site visit required by Main Street and hold the strategic planning work session. As a 2-day workshop. So Parrish, Pam, and I took her around Main Street. If you saw the Facebook post about that. And then we had their work session. So I think I've said this when Ebony asked me, Brandon asked me, Kim asked me how to go, how's it going, whatever. I don't know what my expectations were, but they were far beyond exceeded what I could have imagined. One, just being new here and being quirky, I promised to learn to make coffee. And thank you guys for putting up with me. I'm extremely proud of getting to work with all of you. I really am. I'm really tired, so getting emotional. So I'm going to stop talking. So, and I'll learn to make coffee, I swear.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration there, Carly, but that's it.
I almost killed them. It's fine. So, it is the plan for the next 1 to 3 years. So the next 3 years. So it'll take us through 2028, going into 2029, the stuff we're talking about. We will be receiving the 50-page-ish report by the end of September, so it will be distributed to you all in October. And we'll work on finalizing everything, and that will become public, etc. Please remember the September 16th meeting, 5:30 at Chat Tech board. Be there by 5 p.m. at the latest. Brian?
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding. I'll be late and I have to walk. Next is the.
That meeting goes till 9 o'clock, is that correct?
We have the room till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
It's over when it's over.
Right.
So I gotta work on food for that next week. Anyway, next is the like I said, I'll be late and I have to walk there, so it's fine. I was on time for my class this morning though, so got that going for us. Infographic discussion. So this came about because I went to Livonia and they gave me theirs. And it turned out I had to put one in that donation basket for the silent auction in the morning. So I put one together in like 5 minutes. And I've been having y'all like kind of proof it. So this is what Livonia's looks like. Brian can pass it down. That's where I got the idea from. And then a scaled down version of that. So that you hand out to people. But there's a scaled down version about half the size of that. that all of their business owners in the Main Street boundary that own a restaurant, it's their table topper. So it's on the, so that was really cool. And then this mock-up is just something that I stuck in the basket, because again, I had 5 minutes. Yes, I know it's printed incorrectly. But we will have one of those for 2026. So I think Vonda, Pam, Parrish, Brian, I think everybody's seen it at this point, what it might look like. Brian made a mock-up that I like better. If you're whispering about me over there, I'm gonna have anxiety about it.
No.
So Brian's made a mock-up that I like better that I'm gonna pass around. So it needs to look something like this. And we will create one for 2026, and then they all have one from here on out. So we're not really doing anything with that. We're discussing it. That's what it is. We will need to be creating one for 2026 that hopefully can be finalized by our November meeting. That would make me happy, but we'll see how that goes. Ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, especially when they are within the Main Street boundary. Really only when they're in the Main Street boundary, but the ones at the chamber, those are easy to go to. Obviously, if it's somebody we know and they're outside the boundary, but somebody from the DDA needs to be at those, I think. I try to go when I'm not in other meetings or doing other things. A DDA member at council every time. It can be parish every time. It can rotate. Other than the council liaison. That doesn't count. They already have to be here. So, other than that. So Marble Festival involvement, I'm just going to plan to be there all day Saturday and Sunday for whatever help you can possibly need.
All right.
So if y'all want to help, show up, hang out, whatever, just put that on your radar. There is a show and shine packet in your packet. I think you all have 5 copies. If you would, take it to your 5 closest neighbors to your business. If you're a Main Street business owner, Pam, Jack, and Brian, Parrish, Vonda, Dr. Proctor. Email it, text it, take a picture of it, drop it off to your friends. We just kind of been asked to help distribute that, and I do not have any time before show and shine begin on Friday. So, however you want to do that. We have been asked to do that. If you have any questions about show and shine, Chris is here. So, that's all I got on that. Anything on show and shine before I jump to the next 2 things?
What time they getting in town, Chris?
So, I'll come up here and just kind of talk a little bit about it for just a second here. Can I steal your photo?
Yes, yeah. Move it wherever you like.
I had a great conversation with Kim Friday. She's been super awesome and helpful. We really do appreciate the help of the city. So the timing of the event, North Main will be closing at 12. South Main will be closing a little bit after that, 1 o'clock. We will start having vendors setting up around 1 o'clock. The participant Jeeps will be staging at Chat Tech, and then they'll have their little parade up to Main Street. The main event will kick off at 6, with it finally wrapping up and ending around 10. So we're super excited. It's great that Carly was talking about placer data, because I was sitting there back there trying to pull the placer data from the previous events. I found one from 2022. And for the Friday and Saturday, that weekend, we had 13,800 individuals come to Main Street specifically. So that's huge. That's a great thing that brings a lot of people. Our focus for vendors is local vendors. And I'm proud to say that our vendors are local that are going to be setting up on Main Street. And, it presents a great opportunity for anybody who is in that area. Open your doors, hand out coupons. You have 13,000 plus people coming, and we're very, very excited about that.
I'll start.
We're excited too.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks to you in your office for all you guys do with that.
Still got that on my Jeep from 3 years ago, so I've got a layers of
The stack, the stick is best straight.
Last homecoming parade is September 17th. It is a Wednesday. Roads will be closed on Main Street at 4 o'clock. Parade is held at 6 o'clock. The abbreviated parade route that will go through the bollards down to Lee Newton for the festival. The high school I think specifically the cheerleaders will be going to each business along Main Street to notify them, so we don't have to notify for that, which is amazing.
For turn.
That is cool.
Closes at 4.
Closes at 4, yes. So yeah, that's the day after our community meeting.
But
Yeah, Wednesday night. Last thing is really just once we get that report from Ebony, Parrish gave me this, and I think we should make something like this once we get that report back, because that report back would kind of be what goes on the back of this. The front of it would be y'all's pictures, DDA emails, whatever number you want, title. I think this should be information that we have, just FYI.
you don't need.
And then the KSU document we got back, that you have it to look at. Parrish and I need to go over it. I need to go over it with Blandin. So just you have it so you can read it. There was a discussion when Pam, Parrish, Jack, and I met with KSU that they do a program that Brandon and I have talked about, and James mentioned to us in a meeting where the students attending Kennesaw State University, if we let them come in and do some of the work, that cuts our costs down. So that they're doing that as part of their degree they're getting from the school. That'll cut our costs down if we work with them just to do student work, which I think is a good idea. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this. And I still have to talk to Brandon about it. But that is in your packet, so you guys all know what that looks like.
Okay, cool.
And last thing is you had this National Night Out flyer. If you would just hang it up at your business, in front of these, for the September 13th event. If you'll just hang it up on the window, at the counter, what have you, that'd be great. And that is all I got.
Thank you, Carly.
You are welcome.
So our next item is executive session, but before I do that, I just wanted to kind of publicly state that for anyone that doesn't think the DDA is engaged in making Jasper a better place, I think this meeting is a perfect example of evidence that is the case. This is the third or fourth meeting I think we've had in the last 2 weeks. And I'll remind everyone listening or watching, these people are volunteers. They don't earn a dime. They have nothing to gain from this other than their service to their community. And I'm very appreciative of all of you for your time tonight. I know it was a long meeting. Thank you for all the work you did leading up to tonight. And I'm just very grateful to be a part of this group and appreciate it very much. And I appreciate all of you for being here tonight. Thank you for staying with us so late. But might have to consider in future meeting agendas making sure that maybe we could move some things around to another month to avoid making people have to stay so long, but we're very appreciative for that. So with that, I would entertain a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into executive session for the purpose of a personnel discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Thank you. We are in executive session.